In this tutorial from InfluenceWP, we are going to be talking about two-factor authentication, which is super important for securing your WordPress website. I'm going to talk about my history with two-factor authentication, the tools, the plans that I've been using, and about my recent switch to a different plan, but within the same tool, just to save myself loads of time and my sanity of no longer having to look down at my device, grabbing the code and manually punching it in on the website with my keyboard. So huge time savings, huge sanity savings. Let's go ahead and dive in. Up on my screen, I've got the two-factor plugin page from the WordPress repository pulled up. That's the plugin that I use. It is by the WordPress team, so you know that you can trust that. So it is installed and activated. The next thing I need is a password manager that also does two-factor authentication pass-through. So with that, I've been using Bitwarden for my password management for years, and I've been on the free version. It packs in so much value for free. It's just amazing. But recently, I was in a conversation on X. I was turned on to 1Password as a potential solution for that two-factor authentication piece. I went over to their site, which we'll look at here in a second, and I looked at the pricing, and I thought, well, I wonder if Bitwarden also does this. So I found out that they did, and they do it for a third of the price. Because I'm already with Bitwarden, it was a no-brainer decision to stay with them and just upgrade my plan, which I did. So I went with this premium plan. It's just $10 per year, and it gives you that integrated authenticator, which we will see in this video. Looking over at 1Password, you can do the same thing with the individual plan for $3 a month. So that, again, it's 3 times as expensive. If you do not have a password manager, which I recommend that you do, then I would go over to Bitwarden and then get that two-factor authentication ability. So sign up for the same plan that I did, $10 a year. That's my recommendation. If you're heavily invested in 1Password, maybe stay over there. You just got to think about if you wanted to go to Bitwarden and maybe save a little bit of money, then that you just have to do that migration process. And I don't really know what that looks like because I just haven't had the need to do that. So, or like if you're starting completely from scratch, no password manager, no two-factor authentication, maybe I already said this, go over to Bitwarden and call it a day. Okay. All right. So we talked about the plugin, we talked about the plan, premium over on Bitwarden, $10 a year, no brainer. Okay. So now we're over here in the back end of our site. You're going to pull up a user. So this is a hypothetical administrative user. You definitely want two-factor authentication at a minimum on your administrative level accounts. All right. So once you are into one of those accounts, you're going to scroll down to the two-factor options section, and you're just going to tick this box for Enable Authenticator app. In the past, if you used an application on your phone, you would take a photo of this QR code with that app and then go through a couple steps, and then you're good to go. But the problem is, again, when you go to use that two-factor authentication code, you have to look down at your phone, grab the code, and you have to manually punch it into your website each time, and it can be a real pain. Okay, so we tick that box, and with that box ticked, I'm going to go ahead and just click Update User. I'm going to go back down to that area. I'm going to go now over to my Bitwarden browser extension. I'm going to find this test user, and we're going to edit this user. This is super simple, guys. All you need to do is click on this, what looks like a camera icon. Boom. It's pulled in the authentication code from the two-factor plugin, so you don't need to punch that in manually. Click Save here on this account within the Bitwarden browser extension. Okay, now go over here to this box where it says authentication code. Fill in that authentication code and click Verify. Just that fast, you have now switched that particular entry on your two-factor authentication app on your phone. You've replaced it with, it is in your browser within the Bitwarden extension. I'm going to go ahead and click Update User here one more time, and we're going to test this out. So I'm going to log out of this website. I'm now going to log in with that test user. That's Bitwarden that is automatically applying that. It's not complete autofill. You get it. There's a security thing you want to be aware of. I don't recommend doing the full pass through where it fills in your password, your username and password, and automatically logs you in. I just like it to autofill it, and then I click log on. It's less dangerous. But let's go ahead and we filled in our password and our username. We're going to click log in. All right, let me put in. Here we go. Okay, there we go. So with that in there, I just had the wrong password stored. You see that it just comes up and it automatically pulls up that two-factor authentication code. Just click it. Boom, you're good to go. You no longer now have to look down at your phone, pull up the authentication. I'm doing it right now. Look down at your phone, pull up the authentication app. Maybe you have, like on your iPhone, maybe you have, what's it called? When you Face ID, facial ID to even get in the app. And then you get in the app and then you have to scroll and you have to look for the account and then you have to find the code. And okay, I found the code and you got to hope it doesn't switch on you in the middle of trying to grab it. And okay, I've got my code. And then you go to your website and you punch in, for example, those 6 numerical values and then hit enter, right? So that process is now gone. Now, again, it may not seem like a big deal if you just have 1, maybe 2 sites. But now when you start getting into the 50, 75, 100 websites, this is going to save your sanity and save you a ton of time. But if you do not have two-factor authentication on your site for your admin accounts, I highly recommend it. A lot of reasons, one of the reasons that people do not do it is just the friction that it causes. This is going to help you eliminate that friction. Okay. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all on the next one.